Today we're going to be testing Space Aces. But before we do that, let's do a few optimizations, okay? And not just optimizations, but things that we need to do to make the game more playable. Now the first thing is finishing all of these textures. Here's the sea lantern, and I think it turned out relatively nice. It goes with that space theme quite a bit more. Let's work on something else. Here's the options for the game. Let's see, it's supposed to look like text flickering real quick, and a bunch of buttons flashing. You press on the button, and we can see I just turned the saturation down on the bed for both of these, the actual wood part, so they look more metallic. And then this, I don't know how I feel about this chest, but it's different at least. But you can see my hotbar is kind of interesting. We've got a llama. And we're going to be working on some settings for Space Aces. And these are going to be map settings, which is how many maps do you want active and how many do you want to be, like, you can change the weight of them. And I'll show you how I plan to set this up with a demonstration with llamas. So first of all, let's get a repeating command block. And I've already made this command, and this just tells telra, and actually I wouldn't mind a title at p action bar. That'd probably be better. This is just saying how many llamas there are. And first, before we do that, we need to set up a command that for every llama. Okay, so right now it's just saying there are llamas. For every llama, it adds 1 to the score. So we could do, this is what I think will work the best. Execute at e type equals llama. And then we just add 1 llama score. It's not score. We're using sec, which is the secondary command. It's either sec or run. Both of those are good for just miscellaneous. But here we're just saying whatever the llama score is, add 1 to it for every llama there is. But the problem is that this number is going up really fast. So then we want to actually move this. This is the same command. And we're going to just do a simple scoreboard players reset every llama's sec score. And so now it only has 1 for every llama. But it's only counting. So it only works when there's 1, which is kind of strange. It's kind of brutal, actually. So what's going wrong here? My guess is that this tell raw is looking at different entities, so I think we could just do count equals 1. So basically the nearest llama. And now that works. If I press F3D, for every llama, it adds 1 to the score. And there's 28 llamas in here. Let's get a little. Actually, here we go. kind of brutal, isn't it? Okay. See, the problem is that when there's less than one, it doesn't work. And that's the problem I've been having with... So how is this beneficial? Why does this matter? Why do we need to know that if there's no llamas, this doesn't work? Well, let's look at the actual commands to see how this works. So here we've got, down here, each of the maps. We've got 4 different armor stands for the 4 different maps. Apparently, is it loading? It might have actually loaded some of those chunks, now that I think of it. And what happens is execute at R, so one of these random armor stands, because they all have a specific tag, it moves them into the pressure plate. If there is no armor stand, then that map can't be loaded. But if there's like 3 or 4 of them, then the map has a much greater chance of being loaded. And so I'm using this to my advantage. So for that demonstration with the llamas, for every llama, it just shows how many, it's a display of how many there are. And that's my goal, is to show how many maps there are. So imagine these llamas as armor stands, and this is saying how much weight one specific map has. So if this was that city map, then it would be, there'd be a weight of 4. But then every time you reduce it, it goes down. But here's the problem, is that once it is 0, it doesn't know when to update. If there's no llamas, it doesn't know when to update. So we have to add a preventative measure to this. And the easiest way of doing that is by adding a new entity altogether. It could be a llama with a specific tag or something along that lines, but let's use something that's quiet. Yeah, wolves are relatively quiet. Do they attack llamas? I don't think so. Oh no, llamas attack them. That's right. Never mind. Where is it? Sheep? Polar bear. That's cool. Okay, so this is Papa Bear. And we're going to use him to set the score. So instead of resetting the llama's score, we're going to set the polar bear. I think it's like that. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, okay. And for every llama there is, we're going to add 1 to the polar bear's score. And then here with the tell raw, instead of searching for the entities with the type llama, we just do polar bear. Oh. Okay, quit. Oh man. So if we do 1 llama, it works, and then when we kill it, it still works here, but there's 0. And on signs it does say 0, on here apparently it doesn't work. But at least this is still being updated. It's still being displayed. So we're going to use this on signs. So let me get that set up a little bit at least. Oh, I don't need these. So here we go. This is what it's going to look like. We've got plus and minus for moon station, and that increases the weight. And you can also decrease the weight down to 0, which means it will never occur. Now I might need to add a safety so that one map plays, but we can worry about that later. These are all in a function file, by the way. And actually, I'm going to just move that right here. I think, yeah, it's still running. Okay. And there we go. So I just have to copy and paste the commands from this one to the other 4 maps, or the other 3 maps. And that's not too interesting. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. So this is much later, now that I'm talking to you guys, but I've finished them all. And they all work just fine. And I like the way this system works. And actually, if we go to the main lobby, I finished it for the other maps too. I don't need those anymore. And then setback has this. And I also added this. It's broken because you need high render distance for that to work. And if you have it low, then it breaks. Those chunks are still loaded. That's why this isn't breaking right now. But yeah, these all work. They're all set up. So now I can work on a couple other things. I'm going to do 2 more things before we test it. One of those things is something that I didn't really do to begin with anywhere around here, but I meant to for the longest time. And if we go to characters, we jump to this end portal. I've set up this. That's weird. That shouldn't be there. Space aces, nice. These just make you run fast. And these are just links and players who helped out. So they YouTube, Brick Mason's Discord, and then 6 more for other people. I was originally going to use the end credits, but that only plays once the first time you jump into it, which is pretty annoying. It should play every time, and you have the option to skip it, but it doesn't matter too much to me, I guess. So the final thing I wanted to really do is add custom sounds or custom music for all of the maps. And this is not that easy to do and make it efficient. But I've already done it. And I'm just going to show you what I did basically. So I'm going to set display sidebar objective called music, and set display list track. Right now it's 0 and my music is also 0. If I go to here and I go to game mode 2, my music will start going up, and that's playing the lobby music. And track 1 up there is the lobby music. So the way this system works is whatever track you're on, that's what music it plays, and then it starts the music when the music score is at 0, and then it counts up to a certain number for each track, and then it resets back to 0 and then loops it. It's a pretty interesting system. I don't know how well it works. And I'm going to put this on 20%. And I also built a command to see the the musics for the different maps and see if they work. So it's just a function, and it's admin, actually that's right, dual music/map test. So it's loading Sheridan, and you can see this is supposed to go down 20 times a second, but it slowed down a bit there. So I tried to choose different soundtracks that somewhat fit the map. I like the soundtrack because it is quiet, and then it's a little unsettling somewhere in the middle, because that's kind of how an abandoned village like this would be. It's silent, but it's got an eerie feel to it. That's what I was going for. And then let's load a new map. Dark Layers got a decent soundtrack. I guess while these play, I'll explain where I got these and some of the issues I ran into. One thing that I got these from the YouTube Red library, or not YouTube Red, they're just the YouTube library, and these are all attribution not required. So hopefully they should be safe for YouTube, without even having to put links or anything like that. And this one's got similar feeling to the broken map. This wasn't too hard to set up. The hardest part was turning finding the audio files and changing them to OGG, which is what Minecraft uses. And then I had to I'm actually just replaced the music disc, so if you play these, you'll hear it. One thing that is kind of annoying is that the file sizes for these, or the music, is pretty big. So instead of adding that to the actual resource pack, I'm going to make it an optional addition resource pack. Because people who have slow download speed or problems like that, or if they just don't want the music, why should they download it, right? So that was my thinking with that, is just make it its own thing. Oh, we already listened to this one. I'm just going to do the 4 dual maps, and I'll let you guys, when you play the other maps, or I guess maybe when I play them. Oh, come on. Alright, where's that one map? I can't get, what's the name of it? Magma Forge. Why is that one not loading? It's kind of annoying. Oh my goodness. Oh, I built a tool to get around this. What's this thing? Magma Forge. I don't need it to be 7. Here we go. Hey, look, it worked. This one's got kind of a cool feel. I mean, a lot of these musics plural, music tracks, I wanted to use like synthetic, synths, not synthetic, I guess. Synths are synthetic, yeah, never mind. But I wanted to use synths because they're music that contains synths a bunch, because that's more space themed. Like, this is definitely space feeling, as opposed to maybe a cello or a violin, piano, which is more either like everyday, or it could be medieval. It's not futuristic. Synths are futuristic. This is a pretty cool track. But I think we're ready to test. I might add a few things, but I won't really mention anything until we test. Oh yeah. 1.13 just fell from the sky. Yep, that's right. Just when I thought I was ready to test, the first pre-release for 1.13 came out, and I already decided that I would start updating once the first pre-release came out. So we're not testing. At least not yet. It's almost back up to speed. I've been working a lot off camera, and I haven't done nearly as much as CDR has, and he's really been helpful to me. Very appreciative of what he's done. He's been updating all the functions, and that's a lot of work. And he's also done the advancements and the what's it called, structure block files, which is really the 90% of this map. I mean, given we have a lot of commands like this thrown about, and just little pieces here and there, and I've personally been working on them. Also, all of these commands, there's 1.13, I've updated already. All of these commands, just basically all the commands, the physical commands are updated. CDR, I believe, has them all done, except for a class that he's redoing with, I mean, I told him to redo it, and it should be a lot better. That's Healer. Healer is just broken, basically. But yeah, this is exciting and kind of scary at the same time. So I've also been updating the resource pack, and there's a couple things that are strange. I think one of these was weird. Where is it at? It might be fixed now, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, look. See how that's square? That should not be like that. It's definitely an issue. These are all like that. See, that one works perfectly fine. So I don't know exactly what's up with these. Oh, it's only when you hold this one. So that right there tells me it's a bug with the game more than anything. It's really weird. It looks like a little torpedo, doesn't it? That is built into the gun. And it's only for that one. All the other ones work perfectly fine. Maybe this one too. No, that what? They're coded the same way. I just changed the color. Yeah, it's just bizarre. Anyways, yeah, this has been quite a bit of work because a lot of the names have changed. And I had this one issue where the gold shovel wasn't updating because the gold shovel holds all of the 13 striker class guns. It wasn't updating, and actually deleted all of the resource packs. So if I go, it's like if I turned the default off. And it was really strange because everything was this texture. Even the text, like this would all be that texture. And that took me a bit. What the problem was is that it was referring to a model that was not implemented and the entire game didn't like that. It broke everything, which I should submit to the bug tracker, but I'll worry about that later. But I think everything's done, and in fact I've improved a couple small things. So for example, where's another small thing that I improved? Okay, here, I found it. The charge I changed to the Minecraft font, because before it was some fancier font or higher resolution, and it just looked completely out of place. It was almost stupid looking. So I think it looks a lot better now. And then the fishing rod, which is the grappling hook, I updated. It used to do this. I'm trying to point at it, but the actual hook leaves the gun. It used to stay there. I mean, originally it stayed there, then I fixed it, and then apparently I copied over the resource pack and it got removed. So it was just, the hook stayed there. But now it actually leaves. And that thing is a particle for some reason. I don't know why it's a particle. It should be an entity. Because if you say, yeah, this has changed so much. It's distance equals ... 5. Fishing bobber. That distance is just the radius, but this works now, so I don't know where I was going with that. None of the functions are ported over yet, and nothing that's in a data pack is ported over, except for one advancement that is kind of broken anyways. But if I go here, you can see all of these should work. Okay, maybe. No, they won't work because they rely on a function to reload these signs. Yeah, that's right. These signs still work, but these do not update anymore. But everything's fixed that I can fix without the functions. But again, another thank you to CdRCrafted. Is it CdRCrafted? I'm gonna have to look at Discord. I know it's CDR, but he's actually trying to talk to me right now. Yeah, CdRGames, not CdRCrafted. But yeah, it's been really pleasant working with him because a lot of the things that I find kind of tedious, he's enjoyed doing. And the way, if he fixes my functions, he understands how I think and the way I work. So that's kind of cool. So we can see how each other think. And then we've been throwing ideas back and forth for medic. And in general, it's just been kind of a fun experience because I've always done everything by myself. Or not everything. I've had Sharp and Coot and even Think way back in the day helped me a little bit. But 90% was me. Because I know quite a bit about commands and my thinking wasn't really compatible always with other people's. But I'm going to keep working on this, chugging away, and I still think we can try to really shoot for working out a little bit of testing in this episode. But we'll see. I'll be back. Yeah, I did make a character screen area.
Oh my God, this is really nice. Like, I've always been doing some basic stuff, but like, you're godlike.
Well, I mean, it's not easy making some of this stuff.
No.
Each of these classes, you see the arsenal when you click on these buttons. Yeah. If you hover over the 2 items, it kind of gives a small description. I just finished that before we started.
Oh, nice. Is that just like Terror?
Yeah, it's just 2 entities.
Huh.
Is it aiming at me? Oh yeah, look, it's blue. It's supposed to be a blue one, but it's red. Okay, so that's This is not gonna be good for us.
Sorry if you could hear any of that. I was having a sneezing fit.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my, that is really good.
It's... Oh, that should explode right when I get next to it.
We have a bit of a problem.
You fall through the world. It might be because these are slabs, maybe? Yeah, they're stone slabs. Some of them are smooth stone, like the block. Okay, so... Oh, I still have the tag in... the invis tag.
What's really confusing? I literally just... Yeah, look.
That's pretty cool, though. Should it be a bug, or
So
should it be a...
Tactic.
Oh, the the beds are just gone now. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, thanks for helping me test, and I can finally put this video out.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
see you later.
Bye.
Okay, so I got some testing done finally. Thanks for watching, and well, we're gonna have to fix all these problems in the next episode. And I'll show off this stuff too.